guys. All right, we're good to go. All right, let's get set up on Facebook really quickly. And then we are going to go ahead and jump right into it, guys. I have some great content to share with you today. And for those of you all who are watching the replay, just let me know that you are watching the replay, and let me know if you have any questions about anything. Okay. All right. And if you know someone who needs this, please go ahead and share this out to your people, to your audience, to your page. Okay. I'm gonna set my phone right here. All right. Hey, Facebook. All right, we're good to go on Instagram now. I know that my background looks a little bit different than it normally looks because I moved my office upstairs. So we spent all weekend relocating and moving my office. So now I can actually go live in the middle of the day. I can close the door. You guys probably won't hear the kids as much as you guys used to. So really excited about this new space and this new setup. And I'm excited about all the content that I get to create now too. So welcome. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it for our Lunch and Learn today. My name is Jasmine Womack. My students call me the Six-Figure Storyteller, and some also call me the Harriet Tubman of Self-Publishing. So I work with corporate professionals and high-performing entrepreneurs who want to create legacy and who want to impact the world by using their story. So I help you to package your expertise and your experiences into a highly profitable and impactful book that you can use to not only help others, but that you can also use to start, grow, and expand your business. So I'm not the person to come to if you just want to share your story and talk about everything that happened to you in your life. Like that, I'm not the person that you want to come to for that, okay? But I am the person that you want to come to if you want to use your story to create legacy. If you want to share your story in a way that's going to impact others and help them move the needle and reach a goal or type of a new level in their life or business. And I'm definitely the person that you want to come to if you want to write a book that you can actually use to start, grow, and expand your business and make money from it for the rest of your life. So today I'm going to be sharing with you, I wrote a book in a month and I had a 6-figure quarter. And so these are just some 7 things to know and do. So if you want to have these type of results, one of the things that I help my clients to do is I help them to write their books in record speed. So I'm working with about 20 authors right now in my Author Made Easy Bootcamp program. They actually wrote their books in 3 days. Right now they're in the editing phase, and you will start to see me promote a lot of their work. And along with them, I wrote my book and it's getting its final touches of editing, and you will start to see me promote more about it within the next month or so, because personally I don't start promoting my books until after I have the final product in hand. But that's a marketing strategy and we'll go into that later. So right now we're talking about 1 book in a month and a 6-figure quarter. So if you want to write a highly impactful book that you can use to grow your brand and business and that you can actually use to help others reach their goals, then you need to tune in. And if you want to get to the point where you are where you are experiencing abundance, where you are generating the revenue that you need to hit your personal goals and also hit your business goals through being able to hire a team and being able to provide a great experience for your clients, then this is for you as well. Okay, so I normally don't talk about revenue much. I normally just talk about my clients' results, but I think that this is important to know, because one of the things that I have learned over the past 3 months is that abundance and success is a mental, spiritual, and it's a heart issue. Okay, and so I'm gonna go into that. So make sure that you have, and it's not a heart issue, but it begins within first. It begins internally before you see the manifestation and the results on the outside. Okay, so make sure that you have your pen. Make sure that you have a notebook. Make sure that you have some paper to jot down some notes, and also know that Published and Paid is Friday. So if you've been paying attention and you've been seeing me promote Published and Paid, it's a live 5-hour virtual event where I'm going to share with you the things that you need to know if you want to, the things that you need to know and do if you want to have a 6-figure author, speaker, coaching business. Okay. Published and Paid is Friday. You can register at www.jasminewomack.com/pp live. Now, I did this workshop in January, and we kept getting requests to do it again this month, but this is the last. I wasn't planning on doing it this month. I had other things planned, but this is the absolute last month that I'm going to do this same exact workshop. So if you are interested, and if you know that you need this, if you know that you've been struggling with your book, if you know that you want to finish your book by the summertime, if you know that you want to finish your book this year and actually turn it into a high-end coaching program, if you've already written a book that you're trying to struggle, you're trying to figure out what to do with it next, how to get through the publishing process, or how to monetize it, how to get speaking engagements, then you definitely need to sign up for Published and Paid. It's only $47. And if you know from working with me, if you've attended any of my live trainings, or if you know anything about my coaching programs, you know that that is a steal to have me teaching live for 5 hours at that price, because I don't do anything that low price, to be honest with you. So make sure that you take advantage of it. Registration closes on Thursday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. So do not wait until the last minute to reserve your spot or get your ticket, okay? So we're going to just go ahead and jump right into it. How I wrote a book in a month, and how I helped 20 other authors write a book in a month. and how I was able to obtain a 6-figure quarter. And these are 7 things that you need to know and do. And these are some things that I realized, just during my work, right? Because you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes, especially on this entrepreneur journey, you figure things out and you learn things along the way and as you are going through it. So the first thing that you need to know and do, number 1, is that you can do anything with the proper strategy and support. You can do anything with the proper strategy and support. Now, first of all, you have to have the confidence. Okay, you have to have the confidence in yourself, and you have to be focused enough to actually go out and get it done. I run into so many authors, so many professionals, so many entrepreneurs who you allow your self-doubt, you allow your mindset, you allow your own thoughts to literally sabotage any goals that you set for yourself. Okay, I don't know if this is you, but I know that I have worked with people like this. Like, you can literally be on the brink of an entire transformation. You can be on the brink of your next level, but because you're on the brink of it, and because it looks different, it feels different, or it's unknown, and you can't necessarily see the next step, or there might be a little fear there, you literally cower back and fall all the way back and quit. As long as you allow self-sabotaging behaviors, habits, actions, and thoughts to run your life, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to keep running from your next level. However, if you have the proper strategy of confidence, like, honestly, prayer has been my strategy. Honestly, there have been times I've gotten frustrated, I've gotten worried, I've cried, to be honest with you, but because there's something about elevation that's scary that people don't talk about. Like, when you step into something different that you've never experienced, and nobody in your family has experienced as well, it can be overwhelming. And you'll oftentimes have thoughts of, can I do this? Can I sustain this? What happens if I am successful? What am I supposed to do with that? Like, this is the truth. And what do? The thing about it is that you can't allow yourself to stay in that space. You have to get out of it if you really truly want to grow. But there's strategy with that. And it's a mindset hack, and it's a mindset strategy. And so one of the strategies that I personally have to use is that I have to go back to the beginning. Why am I doing this, and who told me to do this? Like, I didn't just start doing this work because I thought it was going to be cool, because I thought it was going to be good or anything like that. I started doing this work because when I wrote my first book, 20 Pearls of Wisdom, a few years ago, I was sitting up trying to be a relationship expert, and nothing that I did was working. Nothing that I put out was working. It just literally wasn't working. And I became so frustrated with hitting my head up against the wall that I totally stopped for 2 weeks, and I went into a period of prayer and fasting. And it was during that period of prayer and fasting that God revealed to me that, listen, you're supposed to be teaching people how to write books and build their businesses. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that because at the time I was a language arts teacher. And I was already teaching writing year round and editing and all that. And I felt like it was going to be too much like my job. Also, what I felt God speaking to me did not align with what I saw people online being successful at. To be honest, I didn't see anybody like teaching people how to write books and stuff. Like, now you see there are a lot of people who do it. But back then when I started, there weren't a lot of people doing it. I was like, nobody's going to want to buy that. Who's going to pay me to do that? But then I had to think about, I was like, what's your other option? To keep doing what you're doing? And so I went forward with it. And the crazy thing about it was that I was already doing it on my job. I was a writing coach on my job. I had been a writing coach for years. I had all these resources. I was training teachers. I was training staff. Like, I was literally already doing the work. But God was like, this is what you need to do in your business. And I was like, that's going to be too much light work. And I fought it. But I was like, hey, let me go ahead and try it. And when I put the relationship coaching down and embraced, the writing, because I was already writing, publishing, and editing. I just wasn't promoting it. I was going by word of mouth and referrals. But as soon as I actually started promoting it, it blew up. So I had to go back to there. God, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling this kind of way, but I know that you're supporting me through this because you're the one who told me to do this. That's my personal strategy. Was it not your journey to say self-sabotage really is it's a real thing. And the thing about it is that when we're in the middle of it, we don't call it self-sabotage. And we don't identify it as self-sabotage. But in essence, that's what it is. When you start coming up with the excuses of why you can't and why you shouldn't, that's self-sabotage. When you start putting more things onto your plate to avoid doing the things that you need to do, that's self-sabotage. When you allow feelings of overwhelm and anxiety to control you instead of taking a step back to gather yourself, and you refuse to address it, that's self-sabotage. So I want you to know that you can literally do anything with the proper strategy. So yes, I have spiritual strategy, but I also have coaching strategy as well. There were some things that I needed to learn on how to operate at a higher level. There were some things that I needed to know about finances. There were some things that I needed to know about business structure, taxes, and everything that I didn't know. And I had to enlist the help of professionals, or else I was just going to stay stuck. There were certain messaging tweaks that I needed to make in my messaging and in my business, right? And I had to get the proper strategy. I already had 90% of it. 95% of it. I needed a 3% to get greater results. So again, you can do anything with the proper strategy, but you can't be afraid to pay for the strategy either. So I had to talk with my husband. There was a coach that I wanted to work with because I knew that she had a certain level of success when it came to live events. And I said, what she's doing, that's what I want to need to do. And when she gave me her price, y'all, it was a mortgage payment. It was a mortgage payment, straight up. And I said, I'm committed to not going behind my husband's back and doing this. I had to sit down and talk to him. So I talked to him. We had a meeting with this particular coach, right? And he okayed it. But I had to pay. I had to pay. And let me tell you, literally in 30 days, because I didn't waste time, I made my investment more closer to 45 days. I made my entire investment back plus some. A lot of y'all are, number one, afraid to pay for the help that you need. Number two, a lot of y'all are afraid to pay for the shortcut. You want the shortcut, you want the results, but you don't want to have to do the things that's required in order for you to get the results that you want. And then we have the third type of person. You'll pay for it, but then once you pay for it and get inside, then you won't do what you're supposed to do, which is, again, self-sabotage. It's all self-sabotage. When you've been praying for an answer, when you've been praying for a result, but you refuse to show up, but you refuse to move your feet, but you don't trust yourself, you don't trust the process, or you fail to follow through, that's another form of self-sabotage. Okay? You can do anything with the proper strategy, the spiritual strategy, the business strategy, and the self strategy, to make a commitment to yourself to follow through on the promise that you made and on the commitment that you made, and actually trust yourself, show up, and do the work. Totally honest. Okay? Let me know if you're with me. Drop a 2 in the comments if you're with me. I got to keep it moving. Drop a 2 in the comments if you're with me. And if you know someone who needs this on Facebook, go ahead and share this out to your page. If you know somebody who needs this on Instagram, go ahead and just click the airplane button down below by the comment box and share this out to someone's inbox. Okay? And if you have not yet registered for Published and Paid, make sure you go to JasmineWomack.com/PP Live. Okay? And even if you attended Published and Paid in January, but you know you need another kick in the pants, and you know that you need some additional support, go ahead and register again. Okay? And yes, you get access to the replay for 5 days. 5 days, and it's for aspiring and published authors. Okay. Number 2, the second thing that I did, I wrote a book in a month and had a 6-figure quarter. The second thing that I did is that I focused on one. Okay. I focused on finishing one book. I focused on one program. A lot of you're trying to do too much in a little bit of time. You're trying to do this class and that class and this and this and that and that. You're all over the place. Literally, when I eliminated all extras from my plate and focused on one, my results magnified. And not only did I focus on one, but I made the commitment to it. All right. This means that when it came to my book, I sat down and I got through those edits, even though I didn't want to. And yes, even as a writing consultant, editing, I hate the editing process. It's the most tedious part. Y'all, these straps are getting on my nerves. It's the most tedious part of the writing process, but it's the part that you absolutely have to go through if you want your book to come out, professional, if you want to come out clean and easy to read. And you know what else? I didn't take a long time to do it. I sat down over a couple of days and got it done. I said, I'm going to spend 4 hours on this day and 4 hours on the next day to get through these edits so I can send it back to the editor. A lot of authors, they drag their feet when it comes to editing, baby. They get their edits back, and then for some reason, they feel like some people are just going to be on their time. They feel like they can wait months or years and then come back. And the thing about it, when you wait weeks, months, and years to follow up with people or to finish a project, you got to understand that people change. People change their offerings. People change their systems. So you might come back six months later or a year later and someone has evolved. They're not doing that anymore because they've outgrown that space, or they decided maybe that does not work for them. So you want to be the type of client that you want to have. And I don't see a lot of entrepreneurs doing that. You got to be the type of client you want to have. Okay. So you need to I focused on one thing. I focused on finishing one book. And I focused on one program. And so if you've ever paid attention to anything that I've said online, one of the things that I often share is that all authors need to have your book. You need to have one signature speech, not 10. And you need to have one core program. Okay? One core program. I focused on the rule of one. And I wasn't doing any type of digital products. I wasn't doing any type of random webinars. I wasn't doing any of that. Rule of one. What am I focusing on? So I can actually get it done without overwhelm. Okay? Number 3, put a 3 in the comments so I can make sure that you're still with me. Hello, 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 everyone coming in. And while you guys are putting the number 3 in the comments, if you haven't registered for Published and Paid, make sure you go to jasminewomack.com/PP Live. This is where you're going to learn the foundation of what it takes to build a 6-figure author speaker coaching business. You're going to learn all about mindset, messaging, marketing, and monetization. Okay? Mindset, messaging, marketing, and monetization. We're going deep into it on Friday. It's from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. If you can't make it live, you'll have access to the replay for 5 days. All right? Number 3. All right? One of the things that I learned, everybody's talking about their goals and how they want to win and all these things that they accomplished. And a lot of times you'll see people online just sharing their highlight reels. They don't share their challenges, right? One of the things that I learned is that elevation requires mental and spiritual elevation first. Okay? You have to be willing to let go. You have to be willing to let go of mindsets that no longer serve you, habits that no longer serve you. You got to be willing to y'all. Oh my gosh. You got to be willing to forgive. Forgive. Because whatever's going on internally and whatever is going on in your personal life is going to come back up in your business in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I had to forgive people who I thought was my friends that I felt did me wrong a while back. I had to, me and my husband are doing some work right now. I'm not going to go into that because that's our business. But we have a good marriage, but there are just in order to go to the next level of our marriage, there's some things that we had to address. And I realized that in clearing out my heart and in clearing out, working through some things that we have had, it allowed me to even excel and focus more on my business. I'm going to tell you this. What you don't want to do is start using your business as an outlet, because the other stuff that you're ignoring is going to come up. You got to forgive. You got to be willing to forgive. You got to be willing to work through that stuff, because you can't embrace your next level. You can't embrace your level of next if you're still holding on to old stuff. It's just like, what's that parable that we used to probably, you might have been taught when you were little or younger? I know I was. But if God's trying to give you something, you can't grasp it if your hand is clenched like this because you're so busy holding on. You gotta let go. Like they say, let go and let God. But it's not just I'm gonna let go. Like, what comes with that? What does that mean? What does that look like? Elevation, physical elevation in the material world. When you're doing it the right way. It requires mental and spiritual elevation as well. You got to work on your mind. Like, I talk a lot about mindset because mindset literally never goes away. And even when you are accomplishing goals and you go to the next level, there are going to be some things with your mindset that are going to come up that you're going to have to address. There are going to be some fears. There are going to be some embedded beliefs. Probably some things that were planted in your spirit, your mind, or your psyche when you were a child that you probably buried. It's going to come back up in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and you have to be willing to deal with it. You got to deal with it. Whether dealing with it means that you make peace with it, that you let it go, that you forgive the people or the persons who did or said something to you. You can't go into your next still holding on to your past. And if you're somebody like me that likes to hold a grudge, like, to be totally honest, It's going to come up because you're not going to have peace in your mind. Okay? The fourth thing that I learned is that you have to avoid burnout. So I definitely did experience burnout, but it wasn't burnout for the quarter. It was burnout because I didn't take the proper measures to rest my mind and actually rest my body properly over the last few years. So you got to understand, like, when you reach a certain level, there's going to be an influx and you got to be able to handle it. Mentally, energetically, all of that. Okay? And so you have to start now preparing for the life and business that you want later. Okay? You don't start doing stuff now and creating patterns and habits now that do not align with the 12-month or the 3-year or the 5-year vision for you. So don't work around the clock now if that's really not what you want to do. Go ahead and start operating now in your next level version. So for me, that's working 4 hours a day. Period, point blank. For me, that's relying on my team. That's hiring well and relying on my team. Okay? For me, that's making sure I go to bed at a certain time. And yes, I still do have my late nights, but every night is not a late night. See, it used to be every night was a late night. Right now, and yes, you'll still have those seasons where you'll have, okay, this week I'm staying up late. But I'm just saying, on a regular, every night can be a late night because you're going to burn yourself out. So Thursdays are my late nights. My family knows this. Thursdays are my late nights. So on Thursday night, mommy's probably working until like 1 a.m. because I do my coaching calls on Thursday night. And then after that, I'm doing some work in the business. Okay? So start now. I want you to think about what you want your life to look like in 12 months, in 3 years, in 5 years, and start operating in that space now. Guys, give me 1 second. I have my video recording and I need to start it back. Okay, we started back because I'm recording on my other camera. All right? Like, I know, like, I'm 30. I just turned 37. I don't want to have to be on Facebook Live all the time when I'm 40, 41 years old. That's not the life I want to live. So what am I doing now? I'm preparing for that now. I'm preparing for it now. To have a presence without always having to be physically present. That's what we're working on now. You got to start living and operating now for your next. Let me know if this makes sense. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense. Y'all quiet. All right, number 5. I'm trying to wait for the feedback. Y'all typing slow. Let me know if this makes sense, y'all. Because when you're working consistently and you're showing up consistently, you're going to get the results. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of people can't handle the results once they come because they haven't done the hard work to handle it. If you're working consistently, y'all, you're showing up consistently, you are investing in yourself, you're implementing, you're executing, you're going to get the results. But what happens is that when a lot of people get to the top or they get an inkling of success, then ego comes in, habits come in. We all seen it. Y'all seen the documentaries like The Temptations and all these other singing groups? They struggle for years and years and years, right? They struggle for years and they grind it out to put in all the work, right? And then they make it. They hit the charts. And then what happens once they get the success they've been working so hard for? They can't sustain it. You got folks that start taking drugs. Egos will get in the way and tear up the groups. They'll start drinking because they still angry at their parents. Now their parents trying to come back in, and they still angry at their parents for something that happened they was 10 years old, and it destroys everything. It's not the success that destroys the success, it's the inability to handle it, because you haven't done the mental, emotional, mindset work. So what happens when you make your first $10,000 per month? When you make your first $20,000 per month? If you scale up to $30,000 and $40,000 per month, if you haven't gotten a grip on your personal finances, you won't be able to sustain it. If you haven't gotten a grip on your ego, you won't be able to sustain it. You'll be walking around treating people like crap, and nobody's gonna want to work with you. Or you'll run through it and destroy everything that you've worked so hard to build. This is what happens. It's not the strategies aren't the reason why people aren't successful, because the strategies are available and they're out there. And if you are consistent and you are constantly putting in the work, then you're going to have success. But it's a person's inability to handle the success when it comes. And this is what people don't talk about. People are always talking about, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. But then what happens once you get it? What happens once you get it? Can you handle it? Can you handle what you are asking for? Wait. My camera's right here. Stay out right now, okay? Sorry, guys. My son's trying to come in. Can you handle what it is that you're asking for if and when it comes? Or do you have behaviors and a lifestyle that's going to destroy it all once it falls in your lap? Do you have a lack of confidence? Do you have insecurities that's going to literally push your blessings away from you once God grants it to you? Can you handle the blessings that you are praying for? This is what people don't talk about. And this is the part that people like to gloss over, because it's not as glamorous as, oh, do a webinar and you do this type of event and you do this and you do this and you got to get this many people in. You need to price your services and raise your price. It's not as glamorous as that, because this is the real work. This is what it takes to get it and sustain it once it comes. Is it glamorous? No. Does it look like shiny object syndrome? Absolutely not. Like, I know for a matter of fact, there are a lot of people clicking on this video because of the title, right? Oh, I want to make some money. But I'm not even talking about money right there. I'm talking about the mental and emotional commitments and work that you have to do to be able to get it and sustain it once you have it. This is how you actually grow it and keep it. If you're sitting down watching TV every single day, you're not going to get it and you're not going to keep it. You got to be willing to say no to people. You have to be willing for people not to like you. And we all know, and when I say not to like you, we all know that there are people who have a problem with you when you don't do what they want you to do, because they have control, insecurity issues of their own that have absolutely nothing to do with you, right? But when you step into your next level, you're going to have to say no. You can't operate in a space of people pleasing. You're going to have to set boundaries, because you gotta, going back to number 2, focus on one. What's your one thing? What's your one thing? So if you still have a people pleasing spirit, and you're afraid of telling people no, and you're on every committee at church, and you got your kids in every single, activity, and you're running like a chicken with his head cut off every single day because you're trying to please everybody, you're going to burn yourself out and you're not going to accomplish your goals. I'm going to be totally honest with you. My kids already know we're doing one activity, maybe 2. We're not doing 3, 4, and 5, and I don't care what them kids at your school are doing. Is that 3, 4, and 5 activities going to help you to accomplish your ultimate purpose in life? No. We're going to give these 2 a try. If you don't like them, we can try something else. But me, I'm not running from 5 to 9 from activity to activity, and I'm not going to do it to you. because I realized how burnout starts at a young age. You got to be willing to say no. You got to be willing to set boundaries. Even with clients. Hey, can you hop on the phone? I'm not able to. We have our scheduled time. Because literally, I'm booked for the next 2 weeks. You have to be willing to make these adjustments. And you got to be willing to level up. Some of y'all looking every single place, all over the place. You literally all over the place instead of focusing in on one thing and executing it. You looking at everything and everybody instead of looking at the one person who matters, which is you, and making the best decision to take the best course of action for yourself. The more time you spend looking at everybody else on Instagram and Facebook every single day, that's less time that you're putting into your own brand and business. That's the truth. All right. Number 5, price accordingly. And I said this in number 1, and don't be afraid to pay. Don't try to charge prices you yourself have never paid. If you want to start, one of the best ways to gain the confidence to increase your prices is to pay it for your own growth and development. And make sure that you invest in a high quality coach. When you're paying and investing in yourself, you won't have a problem with charging for your for your services and products. Especially when you see the results that people are getting and how much time and energy goes into creating something of value. I'm not talking about this little digital product, 30-minute course. No. We provide surgery. We don't do Band-Aids. So if I charge, when I charge, not if, my price is already here. When I charge 10 grand, it's because I paid 10 grand in full. When I charge 20 grand, it's because I paid 20 grand for coaching programs. When I charge 30 grand, it's because I've invested that in myself. Not only because I've invested that, but because I know the value that I'm bringing. I know the years of learning that you're going to cut down from working with me. It's no coincidence that I have people who come to me. They've struggled for 3, 4, 5, sometimes 15 years to write their book. And then by working with me, they're able to get it done in 3, 4 days and have a book in 12 weeks. We've gone from 5 years, 15 years to 12 to doing something in 90 days after you make the investment. Or for published authors who've been struggling with their book, their messaging, and they have a book, they haven't made any money, and now all of a sudden you're selling books in bulk, you're getting speaking engagements, you got coaching programs, and you enrolling clients at a premium price, things that you haven't been able to do before, now you're able to do in a matter of months. So you got to look at the value that you provide, and you have to price accordingly. So I don't teach my authors or authors who come through my program to start selling t-shirts and mugs and digital products. No, you're going to sell your book. You're going to speak, and you're going to turn that speaking engagement. You're going to turn those leads from those speaking engagements into clients. All right, you guys might hear my son in the background. It is what it is, y'all. We at home. Okay? Number 6 is that your environment and your community matters. You can't expect to keep leveling up if you're staying around the same thing and listening to the same things every single day. You need to get in a new community where people are doing what you've done or better. It matters. If you're at home every day working from home with your kids, okay, you only see what you're exposed to and what you expose yourself to. It's a different vibe, y'all, when you get into a community of people who are doing the things that you've already aspired to do. And thank you, Miss Bexamy on Instagram, for putting the number 6 in the comments. Oh, thanks, Dr. Ramon. Dr. Ramon's on Facebook. He said the system works. Dr. Ramon came through the boot camp and now he's in the mastermind. Killing it. Killing it. Number 6 is that your environment and your community matters. The conversations are different. Y'all, let me tell you, the conversations are totally different. When you change, when you get in a focused environment and a focused community, the times when you're feeling down, the community alone can help to lift your spirits. The times when you're doubtful, seeing other people who may have the same struggles, or even people who had those struggles and learning how they came through it, it matters. It helps you not stay stuck, and it helps you not stay in your own head. It also helps you to see what's possible when other people just like you are accomplishing and doing extremely well. Community and environment matters. And I put that in the email that I sent out to my email list today. Community and environment matters, guys. Who you're around, birds of a feather flock together. And if you want to know where you're going to be in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, look at who you're surrounded by now. If you're surrounded by people who are always complaining, they bumping the latest Cardi and Megan Thee Stallion music, they don't listen to any type of personal development. They're not listening to audiobooks. They're not learning how to level up their finances, their businesses. They're not learning how to create legacy. They're not learning, how to take their skills and their gifts and their degrees and their education and make it work for them. But they just trying to be at all the restaurants and all the events. If that's who you're hanging around, that's where you're going to stay. But once you shift once you get in a new environment, you're going to be forced to level up. Because you're going to see what's possible. And if you have any type of drive, you don't want to be the one person that's not doing anything. You're going to want some results too. Okay? And number 7, guys, you put a 7 in the chat, and then we're going to roll up off of here. Simplify. This goes back to number 2, focusing on 1. Simplify. Simplify your message. Simplify your audience. Simplify your pricing. Simplify the things that you offer and what you're selling. You don't have to sell or do all the things. You have to sell and do the one thing exceptionally well. Exceptionally well. That's it, y'all. That's it. You don't have to do all the things. You don't have to have all the digital products, the t-shirts, the mugs. You don't have to have all of that. And you're trying to sell all of that. You need one book. You need a coaching program. That's what you need. You clarify your one audience and you max it out. You max it out. So make sure that you guys join me at Published and Paid. This is going to be the last time that I teach this particular workshop live, all right? So Published and Paid is a 5-hour virtual event, okay? We're going to start out teaching mindset, messaging, okay? Then we're going to have hot seats where you'll have the opportunity to ask me questions about your book and your business. Then we'll go into monetization, how to actually grow your book into a business, okay? And then you'll have the opportunity to hear from some amazing people who've done the things that I'm talking about. They've had they've generated 6 figures within the past quarter. All right, so I want to make sure that you're there. Just some amazing people. I have 2 right off the top of my head, so make sure you're there. Go to JasmineWomack.com/PP Live. Go ahead and purchase your ticket. It's only $47. I don't do anything that's cheap, y'all. But this is a high value workshop and training. So make sure that you go ahead and have your face in the space. It's great for aspiring nonfiction authors. If you have a children's book, you're trying to do a cookbook or urban fiction, it's not for you. Okay? It's for nonfiction books. You have a book that you want to turn into a message that you want to use to help people in their life or business. Okay? So whether you are an aspiring author, whether you're in the process of writing, okay, maybe you're in the publishing process or you've already published your book, but you're trying to actually figure out how to monetize it and grow it into more, it's for you as well. Make sure that you go ahead and reserve your spot. So it's about 1:20. We can do some Q&A. I have a meeting at 2:00 and a ton of work to do. So we can do some Q&A for about 5 minutes. If you have a question, if you're on Instagram, drop your question in the question mark box. Hey, Just One Pumpkin. So excited to see you there. And I know your book is coming out too. Waiting for it. All right, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment box. If you're on Instagram, put a comment, a question in the question box down in the comment area, and we can do questions. So we'll do some Q&A for just a little while, a couple minutes. And I'll give you guys a moment. I know it takes a moment to type your questions in. Okay? Does anybody, if y'all have a question, go ahead and drop a question in. If you don't have a question, make sure that you go ahead and register for the workshop. All right, so Instagram, we have a question here. Okay. So how do you pick the chapter to expand into a program? So we actually do, I teach that in the program. But the answer is too complex. Honestly, you can select a chapter, right? I would say that it's probably one of your most pivotal chapters, but your program can be about anything. You just have to be able to expand into it and provide the information in your program that's actually going to help your client get a result, right? So I would choose probably your favorite chapter or one of the most transformational chapters to serve as the foundation to then build off of, if that makes sense. All right, so it's a pretty complex question because it involves like creating a chapter and evolving that chapter into a coaching program involves, some detailed steps, but there isn't a right or wrong. Of course, I wouldn't choose like the first or the last chapter, but I would choose one of your more transformational chapters or probably one of your favorite chapters to build and grow off of. That makes sense. Beverly Simmons says, what do you offer for someone needing to publish their book? Make sure that you come to Published and Paid. We talk about that. All right. So if you've written your book and you need to publish it, make sure that you come. Now, I don't provide done for you services. Been there, done that. Don't do it anymore. I have not provided done for you publishing services since 2019. However, with the method that with what I teach, my clients are able to create and publish any book that they desire at will. So we do talk more about that in detail, Beverly, at Published and Paid. So if you haven't yet, make sure that you go ahead and register for the workshop. Sade says, do you refer editors and writing services in Published and Paid? I refer editors and writing services in my actual program. So only my students get access to my Rolodex because the professionals that I recommend, I have relationships with them and have had relationships with them for years. One of the things about writing is that I've realized, and I'm not saying that this is you, Sade, but what I've realized is that a lot of people think that they can write because they can put some words together, but writing a book is different. And so based from when I used to just take anybody, when I used to publish books and I would just take anybody and publish their books, there was always a very distinct difference between people who came through my Author Made Easy Bootcamp versus people who didn't, and the content that they created. So the editors that I refer out actually requested me not to give their information out to anybody that did not come from my program. just because the content was oftentimes disjointed and all over the place, even though the book was done. So I do refer, but you have to be a client to get referred. Um, however, some of them will be in published and paid. So if you've already written a book and you're trying to figure out what to do next, you need to be there, because I guarantee you that there's a lot that you don't know and you probably have not thought about. And if you want to get to the point where you are generating six figures, per year, per month, per quarter in your business, you need to be there. Okay, Tisa. Oh, thank you, Tisa. Tisa's one of my amazing clients. I'm so proud of her and happy for her. She says, no question, just encouraging anyone on the fence to jump over and register for the workshop. Y'all, honestly, it's $47. I don't do anything that's cheap. So I'm going to be totally honest. So if you're on the fence, this is probably, I'm not going to do a workshop again this year that's going to be this inexpensive, because we're focusing after this on the conference, and the conference is definitely not $47. So if you're on the fence, you need to be there. Can I repeat number 5? Price accordingly and don't be afraid to pay. And I'm putting the replay up on Instagram afterwards. M. Lene Dunlap says, what is the recommended book page limit range? I don't quite understand your question, but I would recommend for your book to have a minimum of 100 pages. Anything over 200 pages likely needs to be another book. Okay. Super excited. What services do you provide? You can come to my coaching program, Author Made Easy Bootcamp, and the Six-Figure Storyteller Mastermind, and I'll be sharing more about that at Published and Paid. Okay. I don't provide done-for-you services. So if you're looking for somebody to edit your book, I'm not the person. I'm a coach. I'm a consultant. I used to provide publishing and editing services, but that was 2-3 years ago. I have evolved from that. Okay. So I shut down my agency in 2019 and went full-time into coaching, speaking, and training. So if you're looking for a coach consultant to show you the shortcut, not just the shortcut, but also the strategies of specifically how to do everything to get the results. If you looked on any of my testimonies, my students generally have amazing results, because I lean on my background as a teacher when I'm consulting. So it's foolproof. Make sure that you come to the workshop, though. Thank you, Tunji. Elijah says, agreed. I second that. I was in the January cohort and signing up again. The amount. Thank you, Elijah. I'm excited to see you there. Yeah, it really is. Like, it's a no-brainer for the information that I share in the workshop. I mean, it really is a no-brainer. I'm excited to see you there again, Elijah. No, it was January. So I think you might have signed up in December, and we did the training in January. And I wasn't supposed to do it again, but people kept asking me to do it again. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do it one last time because we got other things planned. So I'm not going to keep doing the same workshop over and over. But it really is a great workshop, y'all. I wish that I would have had this information when I was writing my first book. Thank you, B. Shante. I work with amazing people who come and put in the work. B. Shante says, I'm interested in building momentum and marketing properly. Does Published and Paid help with this? Yes. So make sure you go to jasminewomack.com/PP Live. It has a breakdown of everything that you're going to learn. And so, yes, you do learn how to you learn some marketing strategies and how to build momentum. We talk about mindset, messaging, marketing, and monetization. And the thing about it is that a lot of the authors feel like, oh, it's just all about monetization. How can I monetize my book? But it's not about selling. It really is about your messaging and marketing. And if your messaging is off, then your marketing and your sales are going to be shot to the ground as well. So when we talk about messaging, what that means is like being able to know who you're talking to and delivering content and delivering your content and your message in a way that speaks directly to them. So have you guys ever like been to church and the pastor has said something, you're like, oh my gosh, she's speaking right to me. Right. But that's the type of messaging that you want to have in your business. But one of the mistakes that authors make is that they create messaging that they want. They're like, okay, this is what I want to say. It's author centered instead of customer or reader centered. Okay. So if you're creating content and or even writing your book in a way and where it's just reflective of what you want. Well, I want to write this book. I want to talk about this. Well, I want to talk about this in this post. Well, you're not selling to yourself. So it doesn't matter what you think if nobody cares and if nobody's going to buy it. So that's what we talk about with messaging. Like even the title of this live stream is direct messaging, because I'm speaking to people who want to write their book fast and you want to make some money. I already know that. People who have mindset issues, they're not going to want to write their book fast because they're going to feel like it's overwhelming. People who are like, listen, I've been struggling with this. This girl says she can help me in 30 days or in 12 weeks or in 3 days. She can help me. Let me tune into this and stop playing. She obviously got the juice because people have been saying that she's helped them, right? Will the replay of Publish and Play be available as a replay for sale? No, it won't be available as a replay for sale. It won't be available as a replay for sale. I do have plans for it, but I'm not revealing those plans right now. You guys will know what those plans are in April. But it won't be available as a replay for sale. However, if you enroll in the $47 workshop, you get 5 days access to the replay. And honestly, it's a 5-hour training, y'all. I really wanted to do it live because, COVID is still an issue. So we're still doing it virtually, but I can't give this content out as replay for just $47 and you just get to keep this in your inbox. Absolutely. I can't do that. Beverly says, what do you offer for someone needing to publish their book? I don't provide done for you services, but I provide a roadmap for you to get it done. And that's a loaded question. So I would encourage you to come to Published and Paid, Beverly. If you're trying to figure out how to publish your book and you're trying to figure out what to do after it's published, how to make money from it, how to actually build a brand and a platform so that you can do more than just speak for free at your church and get a fruit basket, definitely make sure that you come to JasmineWomack.com/PP Live. Okay. All right, guys, it's 1:30. I got to roll out. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any other questions, shoot me a DM. Y'all have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you in the workshop.